zone and gap scheme stuff right here. So this is kind of, your everyday drill right here that we do. We just call it a punch drive where we're working on getting off the ball, shooting the hands, bringing the hips, right? The main reason I put this clip on here for this kid, right? The hips come straight up, the hands come straight up. The I would say the things that I really focus on and harp on for my guys is we're trying to figure out how long can we play and how quick is that second step getting in the ground. And the reason for doing this drill right here for me is without pads. I think this may be during COVID actually when we could only do this. Trying to hand placement, trying to get those feet in the ground, and then this next one right here, the thing that I really love about these two guys is this guy right here. You can watch him roll his hips through. He's over exaggerating the drill, which is fine with me. Um, but man, that hip comes the second step. You see great extension. Eyes are back, right? That's really what we're looking for. And for an undersized DN that weighed 225 pounds, you got to be explosive in your hips. We use the bag right here to keep a great base. We play a lot of head up sixes on tight ends, so we're working. These are two DNs. We're working head up technique with those guys. We try to do ball on the stick in a lot of these drills. Sometimes we don't, just because time situations. Was somebody asking something?
I think they're just joining in.
Okay, got you. This kid right here, the what he does and kind of what we coach guys is, man, that's phenomenal, right? He's not he that's full extension, foot in the ground, head snap back, thumbs up, like, and I would say this is, the thing that, I battle with coaches and recruiting all the time on our staff. You can make a guy a better puncher, but it's kind of like you're a pass rusher or not. I'm a big guy. I want to recruit pass rushers and punchers. I don't like those tweener guys. And this kid closest to us right here is he was a phenomenal puncher, and that's the picture that we're looking for. Right now it transitions. Right, we're probably hitting the sled at least 2 times a week. We're working head up on the sled. This sled actually sets lower, forces the guys to keep their hips down for the first two steps. The thing I don't like, it creates a little bad habit on the third because when you lift and roll out of there, your hips get a little high. But it really does a good job on our working on our first two steps and hips down. And these two guys are D tackles. You can see the guy on the right as we look at it. I don't like heads buried, right? As soon as we get our head buried, eyes go down. My elbow's naturally going to go wide. The thumbs are going to turn in, and all my weight's forward. You can see the guy on the left as we look. He gets a little more extension, but the thing that I love, these two guys, phenomenal base. I'm pretty old school with footwork on my D tackles. We're 6-inch step kind of guys.
Your name.
We're not jetting off the ball
Oh,
all the
you're
time
writing.
with those.
Crap.
That's a good drive. Hips stay down. We're always working on ripping off and body control. Just coming, not necessarily coming to balance, but hips under control. Um, I think this clip right here. So I put this one on here because you can see the guy on the right. First step, his feet are a little narrow, and we're not striking with extension. Both of these guys are bent elbows, right? Bent elbows for a D lineman is getting you beat every time. They're not going to call holding, then we're going to complain about it. If we can figure out how to get how fast from point A to point B with elbows locked out. Now they do it late, but at that point, we're already off the ball, and you can see the D tackle on the right, hips come straight up. One step in the ground, we're already popping straight up, and the left 40, he kind of does that a little bit too. After we go to sled drive, we do block rec every single day. I don't, even on Fridays in our walkthroughs. We're looking at the picture here on the left, so we're working squeezing. We are a big time squeeze team, depending on personnel. we're going to be two hands heavy on squeeze with two back, which you can say two backs tight end, fullback, two fullbacks in the backfield. That does whatever. We're gonna communicate two back. When it's one back, 10 personnel spread set, we're gonna play a little bit wider, and we'll call it a light squeeze. We're squeezing with our feet, right? So if we're looking at this D end right here on the left, we're working on right hand. We're trying to place that right on the, I guess you can say, the left pec of that tackle. The left hand needs to ride the hip. What I don't like about this guy right here, we're dropping our hip on our second step. First step's great, right? We're keying the hip of the tackle. Okay, the tackle goes down. First step's great. We're replacing the foot. Now we got to climb a little more vertical. The aiming point that I try to give these guys after the heavy hands-on squeeze, if we're getting a puller, right, we're trying to meet that puller 1 yard inside of the outside half of the B gap. So I'm saying this is the outside half of the B gap. This is where I'm trying to meet my puller. You get these young guys, they don't do a very good job of getting eyes down the line. So another drill that I've kind of worked with my young guys, I'll stand over here like the pulling guard, and I'll hold up a number and make them tell me that number because we're a splatter team. So if we can't get inside and splatter these guys, we're getting the ball run down our throat. But the first step of this guy is great, and we're always going to be inside half tackler of QBs on zone read. So we work squeezing every day because if our DNs can't do it, they can't play for us. All right, you can see another kid right here. Bad hands, right? You can see the left hand's too high, the right hand's too far inside. As soon as the right hand gets all the way to that other pec, it naturally forces me to turn my shoulders because it's farther for my left hand to go. And when you watch his right foot is flat and it's dropping. This right foot, we should see a 45 step and get to the hip to get out of the trash of the line of scrimmage to see if am I getting puller, split zone, am I getting a mesh by the quarterback, and his eye transition can never happen because it's a dirty read right here. This is a great job of footwork and hands, right? I think we're probably working an option drill here, but it's a great squeeze. The only thing I don't like, we probably need to be a little more on this upfield hip, and eyes need to go down to out. But when you talk about hand placement, the right hand's on the pec. He's bringing that left hand low, riding that hip down. We've done our job to let our backers flow. If they can't flow, we got to find a new backer because this dude is phenomenal hands. I love it. All right, so you can see this DN. What he does not as well as the other kid is his footwork is too flat. He's playing lateral with this guys, and I think too, you got to figure out what kind of defense you're going to be. Do you want to squeeze and get hands on the tackle, or are we rolling and jetting off the ball? Right? We have fronts that dictate how we're going to squeeze, or blitzes that are going to dictate are we splatter or box players, and I also it starts with alignment too, right? We start day one of install teaching our young DNs back to back away. We got to understand, where the jump cut lane is, or is the ball hitting fast outside at us. And this kid's alignment is too tight pre-snap. All right, I didn't have very many D tackle double team drills, guys, but if we look here on the right side of the screen, this is 31. So 31 is head up on the guard, and that's a tackle coming down. So we're working gap scheme double teams. The thing that we try really hard to do is verse flow zones. We'll turn and try to split that zone and chase the hill line. If we're getting gap scheme, we're going to try to give you as much surface area as possible and help widen out the gap, all right, for our DNs on the squeeze and splatter. So when he gets pressure from this tackle, you can see him right now. He's trying to drive his left hip right back into his pressure point. He's overextended. He's not driving his right foot with him, but I like him feeling the pressure. He's a little high. I would like to see his hips stay down. Um, And then as guys get older, we will transition um, into where we do work on splitting some gap scheme double teams by essentially blocking out, right? We're going to lock out on the guard. We're going to sink our hips and we're going to block the tackle out and step through right here with our right foot. And he kind of does it. I would like to see him sink his hips a little bit more. All right. After we work those block recs, now I'm going to get the half line and endo. Right. We're getting a. I think I have a tight end, center guard, tackle right here, trying to give the guys a little bigger picture before we get to team. Right, a really controlled environment. All right, so right here we're getting a zone read look. I like the D end. All right, he's getting upfield shoulder. It's an open set, I believe. We don't have to get his heavy hands on. When you look at the left side three tech, what I don't like is watch his right foot drops when he gets pressure. These guys got to understand where our pressure points are. If I'm a three tech, I know my right foot, all right, with back to my side, that's my pressure point. I got to drive that thing, right? If I can step through and they flow away and I have a great punch, I'm going to be able to split this thing with easy work because that tackle can't knock me off. But this kid, what helps him, even with not phenomenal feet, great extension, hips stay down, right? He has a low center of gravity, which allows him to get through there. All right, so this is zone at us. When we're really looking at the D tackle, and he does it too. He goes 1-2 hop, feet go dead. We're dropping our left foot already, right? We're reached, we're dead, we're out of our gap. We got to fight that pressure point with that foot, especially running back is away, and we make our guys communicate. The D tackles every snap. If you come to our practice, are communicating back to back away. And we got to, and we really have to understand where runs coming at us. I try to give those guys as many answers to the test as possible, and if they can comprehend and use the tools, great. If not, we'll dictate stuff for them. All right, so now if we're talking about the D tackle on the left. I'm working a double team for gap scheme, even though we don't have a puller right here. You watch him pop straight up. All right, he starts to attack two guys. You look at the left elbow's already bent. When I'm playing a three tech, I'm attacking the guard. That guard has to vacate hard for me to ever slam back and rip and lean back on the tackle. This is a young guy, first year in the program, and you can see hips pop straight up. Now, what I do like is he's starting to fight the pressure with the left hip and widen back out my B to C gap, all right, to make 98's job. 98's being lazy as crap, right? We got a crossover. We're not keying the hip. We're always keying the hip with my DN, so we should see him stepping to that hip as soon as it goes down. Um, but now you do see 98 does a great job. Where do his eyes go? Right, boom, down. He pops his eyes back out for any zone read, anything coming out. So I put 99 on here because you get a lot of guys that want to dictate their stance all the time. 4 point, no stagger, stagger. I teach a base stance where we're gonna have a toe to instep stagger. But as you can see with D tackles, you have to have stagger. When you have square feet, I don't think it allows me to get my feet in the ground as well. I've never been like a read. I've always been an attack react kind of guy. Even when we're playing a four eye, I know a lot of people play a four eye and play react attack. I feel like if I can take the fight to you quicker, if my footwork is wrong, it still allows me to win the line of scrimmage. Because at the end of the day, guys, that's all we're looking for. Technically, the ball never reaches you until you're never reached until the ball reaches you. And I know we harp on it all the time, and then they're like, dude, you just got reached by the tackle. Well, technically you didn't because the ball's still inside. But you can see 99's feet right here. They're just popping. I don't see a lot of gaining ground, right? And you see him trying to fight, right, with the center. So we're playing a two eye right here on the center, and he's trying to fight with him for no reason. I'm never asking these guys in any front we play. If we're two gapping or not, we're not attacking two guys. We should be attacking the inside half of this guard and running our feet. I love the hands by 40 extension. I don't like my hand placement. When we're playing one gap defense, we got to get to the upfield shoulder. And it's kind of like when you talk about guys long arming. I've never been a big long arm down the middle. I'm always working outside pec to collapse that shoulder and force that guy. You're either going to have to drive this foot back to square me up, right? Or I'm winning the edge. So I don't like 40's hand placement, but I love the extension. Now 99, it's a pressure point again, right? He's a new guy trying to fill it out. We're dropping the hip. This is a 5 yard gain right here in the B gap. He's killing the defense, and that guard was whipping his butt. So now we're going to pods right here. Okay, so we don't do pods every day, and what we do in pods, we have a tackle tight end line, we have a tackle guard line, and then we have a guard and center line. And we'll spread out across the field, and we'll work anywhere from our nine techs to our six to our threes, and try to get these full live reps in a very controlled situation. I love the pad level of the D tackle. I don't think his feet are phenomenal. You watch his first step, his left foot as we look at it, his right foot, we slam it into the ground. I like it. He misses his punch with his left hand, but what allows him to win is the level and lowness of his hips. They're trying to work a flow zone, right? He's getting vertical. He wins because of pad level, and this kid does a phenomenal job. It's a really nice rep right there. So now I think we got a bad rep, right? We see a D tackle, his pressure point. This is back to him. Zone is going away. So my pressure point with my foot should be my inside foot. He doesn't drive it. He gets pressure. We turn, and the hips are already high. So at this point, we got what do we got to do? We're in an oh shit moment. We got to drop our hips. All right, and now we got to split this double team. Hips never get dropped. All right, feet stay dead in the water. All right, now we're in trouble because the double team is now rolled into our backer. At that point, I told him, you just got to cut those freaking dudes. Obviously, we can't do that in practice, but this is a hard clip to see, but because we're all in the way right here, but it's about footwork. You the feet are dead. It's 1-2. Now they never move, and we're trying to sling guys. I want to run through a dude's face. I don't, you can bench press 150 pounds. If that kid will play with the extension and run his feet, I promise you guys, you can win with that. You can't win with the dude that will not run his feet and create knockback and bubble the football. Now this kid's he's a starter, like he's going to start for us, but his feet are bad in this rep, and we're trying to fight two guys again. You and I think that's everything we all struggle with and what they struggle with. They want to try to fight everyone. If we can learn how to win our one-on-one individual battles, then the 11 on the field on defense we get to eat. All right, so this is 93 again. We watched him in earlier. Look at the inside hip. The feet aren't great again, but pad level, hips stay down, right? He's not trying to attack the center for no reason. His foot does, but his hand never does. He locks out on the guard. This is a great rep by this kid. He's also a senior, right? So you can kind of tell the difference. The older they get, they got better control. All right, so now we're an inside run now. All right, I think they're running a power right here. All right, so depending on the formation and game plan, guys, when we look at this picture right here, we will sometimes play a five on the tackle, or we'll play a running six. Which running six is we would tilt this thing a little bit more and really try to collapse this C gap and force that puller one gap wider. Even if we're getting like, we call it bolt, which is same side zone where he's cutting us out. So right here we go to squeeze. So we're playing a five. What I don't like is watch the footwork of seven. All right, the DN closest to us. We drop the foot. We turn the toe inside. We're not winning the line of scrimmage with the first step. Now, what he does try to do, he gets his butt whipped, but he tries to get back extension. But the reason he's in this situation and working too hard because of our left foot is turning inside and running. I can live with this guy getting cut out of this C gap as long as we're able to put the fullback in the C gap and bubble the ball. The thing that I struggle with, these guys try to fight so hard to get inside, they end up all the way down on the inside half of the B gap, and now it's like, what are we doing here? You can watch 96, the D tackle closest to us. He's trying to fight the pressure of this double team. He overturns it, right? But he's kind of pivoted. He just dropped his left foot right there. So watch our backside D tackle. Day one, when we're talking about gap schemes, we're going to be what we call melt the center to cross face. And the term by melt means we're melting the A gap to free up our backside backer to flow. These two guys are really our cutback player. Yeah, this guy can be, but we're saying backside D end and D tackle are cutback. This backside D tackle on pool, we're not crossing face until the ball crosses face. Now, if we have a great get off, we will slip the hip. If we're playing a bad center, we'll game plan to cross face right now. But I prefer to start early in the game to melt this guy so we can feel his footwork and can he block back on a three. Now, if he a four eye when we're playing a four eye, if we melt from a four eye standpoint, I'm gonna be pissed. Like we should be rolling making a TFL from a four eye. But this kid does a great job on the melt, and you can watch. Great extension, inside arm misses, I agree, but he snatches across violently, right? Rips arm over, club it down like that. That's a great job by him. What we teach our backside DNs to do on gap hinge, we work to the upfield shoulder of the tackle and essentially try to melt that tackle as well and try to collapse the B gap with the DN. So now it makes this D tackle's cross face job a little bit easier, less air for him to work. But 98 gets too far up the field. We don't collapse the gap. I don't like it. There's some decent things going on, but there's some real bull crap happening there too, guys. All right, so seven's terrible. Okay. We never when we're going to splatter, I'm not trying to turn and get all the way down the line of scrimmage. I'm squeezing eyes down the line. I'm going to be the hammer down the middle to inside half. When we splatter, I want to try to punch the guy so I can swipe back off and make the play. The a lot of the guys want to go forearm shiver, which I'm fine with. I will live with it if we're creating knockback and the second puller has to stutter. Because when you're getting gap scheme two pull plays, guys, the end of the day, how can you get the second puller knocked off? Essentially, the first puller does not matter. How can we get the second puller knocked off? And you can see, watch Seven's footwork. You watch his left ankle and left toe. It goes flat down the line. Now it's going to make my hips turn. He has to work so hard to square back up, and he can't. And then he avoids. We used to be a wrong arm spill team. I hate that terminology because wrong arm, you're just trading one for one, right? Now you're playing 10 on 10. I love the term splatter because when you get a good splatter, now I'm playing 11 on 10. We got him. Great job backside D tackle on the melting. Not great on the double team because we're hopping. We're hopping. Two steps, we're in the ground. 6-inch steps, I love them. They're great. Now we die. Feet are dead. We're trying to fight the pressure and turn, but there's no feet drive. There's nothing that allows us to bring our power with us. Hips stay back, elbows bent, just not a great rep. You can see to the top of the screen on 98. Decent job on the gap hinge. Climbs to the upfield shoulder. Make sure the ball's given. Deep as the deepest man, no reverse. It's funny. Seven avoids the first puller. He goes to punch the second. He can still make a tackle, which is wild. All right. So if we start to the top of the screen with 37, he's our stand up guy. He sees pool coming. He climbs, but he doesn't climb deep enough. His eyes are in trash. He's staring at the quarterback. Back away. There's two things we're getting. We're getting zone at us. We're getting counter. Right? Full back away, back on the same side. That's like 100% of the time. These offensive coordinators think they're cute. Well, no, that's like 100% of the time counter. He needs to be going to hammer 97. He waits. Right now, 97 gives us the blow. Not a great splatter. But what happens is he's tight enough on the squeeze, not a lot of room for the second puller to get through. The D tackle on the double team, I wish his feet weren't stepping as far. I don't like that footwork from my D tackle. But what he does, you see him trying to anchor and fight back that pressure with that left hip. It forces that tackle to stay on the double team a split second longer. And now look, backside backers flowing. Not great by our backside D tackle, right? We should melt right here because that's not a phenomenal get off, right? If we're gonna slip the hip, we better be able to slip the hip and run the hill line. We can't slip the hip and get 3 yards in the backfield. You're doing nothing for us. Not great footwork by 40. He's guessing the play, not reading his keys. He's stepping too far inside right here. Get the counter. I love where 8 climbs to squeeze 2. I don't like that. That's soft as crap because we don't get second puller knocked off. I want to knock off the second puller. Now, he don't bury himself so much he can't make the play, but I think we're being pretty soft. Really bad job. The 2D tackles are they're not playing for us, but that is what it is. But when you're talking about double teams, 55 right here. He thinks it's counter and he steps out. We still got to win our one-on-one on the guard. We're just fighting the pressure when we feel the tackle. We're not trying to do anything different. We got to do a better job backside of melting, right? The drill we do, right? We're still working our get offs when we get pulled. We get pulled, I snap to the center. My inside arm goes to his chest. That left hand goes to the wingtip, and we're driving and running him with extension because they can hold all day long at center, guys, and they are never calling that play. Not a great job to the top on the gap hinge. We got to have that guy get to the upfield shoulder. Because if this quarterback says, heck, that guy turned his shoulders, we technically are the QB player if he pulled this ball. Should he pull it? No. All right, now we're in team. Now we're getting counter, right? Our bad job by the DN. First, it starts with alignment. All right. We're never going to be tighter than foot to foot alignment. Never. Maybe 4th and 1, right? Third down, we better if we're foot to foot alignment, I'm losing it on the sideline. So he's too tight. We can never get vertical enough to get our eyes out of the trash. So it don't matter how good everything is. Now, I would prefer 7 to hit this puller down the middle to inside half. But what does he do? He technically takes out 2 pullers, right? The back has to stutter. Actually, this is inside, not team. We force the back to stutter. Now our safety's fitting or backer with bad technique. A little bit better by the D tackle. I would love to see his feet right to the left here as we look at it. He's trying to fight back the pressure. He's trying to win the line of scrimmage. He's trying to lock out. But I would like to see him swipe through that gap quicker. Backside D tackle again. You can see him working the melt to cross face. Good extension, swipe across. Phenomenal teach step. I don't like the backside DN with the gap hinge. We're not climbing to the upfield shoulder. He does his job from the standpoint of closing the B gap when what we like to do on a gap hinge, but I want to climb a little bit more. Get my eyes out of the trash. All right, so here's a bad rep of why we're trying to meet this guy a little more vertical, right in here. He meets him so flat down the line of scrimmage, they technically don't even have to pull for him. Too flat. Now, he gets lucky and gets rolled because he ends up inside of the second puller, but it's fine. 99, our D tackle to the right, to the side of the counter, guys. He's playing a 2 eye. I don't love the footwork, a flat step outside. I want to be taking the heel right here and get my feet on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Now, I like him trying to lock this guard out, but if we're talking about being elite, we got to snatch and cross face with the ball. We're just staying blocked. Great melt. Oh man, that's a great melt. That's a young cat. We got to bring our feet. All right, we got to cross face, but the eye discipline of where our eyes need to go, that fires me up right there. Now we got to get the backside D end right here, guys, on this gap hinge. We got to climb. We got to get to the upfield shoulder. All right, now we're in a game right here, guys. I think we're getting counter to the field. Whoa, I apologize for that. Counter to the field. I don't like 91's footwork. This is the same kid. I think he was wearing 7 in practice. You watch his toe. He gets on his toe. I'm a terrible coach. He gets on his toe and he turns his foot inside. We got to climb a little better. Now, what he does do, he splatters this puller, knocks him back. Second puller can't get around. Now let's watch our double team. They don't double front side, but 95, man, this is a great lockout and run feet. That's phenomenal job. I mean, oh, they pull the center. That's why they do that. Okay. But that's a nice job by those two guys, front side of they win it. They make our backers' job easy. If I'm going too fast, I think someone might have sent something in the chat. So let me look. I don't want to not answer someone's question. Yeah, I mean that's essentially someone asked near foot, near shoulder when spill like I guess the thing some teams are going to be box teams and I feel like if you want to box and hammer the pullers you got to do that. For the way I like to fit the run, I feel like if you're going near foot, near shoulder, um the ball's going to get downhill inside of you. And I think we all watch enough games when that ball and gap scheme gets downhill, guys, it's in trouble. Our philosophy on our defense, we talk about East and West. Everyone has a lane. Everyone is essentially an overlap spill player, right? To make it simple at the end of the day. Obviously, the corners are not. They have lane one. But coverages and fronts and everything can dictate, different support players. So boundary side D end, not it. We're pretty good with our footwork right here to the right. His toe doesn't turn. He climbs to the upfield hip. We're getting our eyes down the line. What I don't like is he gets too flat when he goes to meet it. Go meet this a little vertical right there. Now he gets decent knockback, but we're still able, right, to get that second pull around. D tackles, this is piss poor. 93 stepping inside. We got when we're playing a 2-eye, guys, we got to attack the hip of this guard. We got to lengthen our edge back to our right. 99, that's when you're talking about melting someone's face off. Watch this dude lock out. This kid was an exceptional player. Lock him out, run through his face. There is no cutback. So 93, if you're going to suck, I guess you can suck if 99's doing that. That's a phenomenal job. Backside DN, watch zero. He gets to the upfield shoulder. We got knockback. We have eliminated any cutback, no matter how good we are front side. Although those three guys are seniors too, so I'm going to cry. Getting counter again right here. So first off, we're we got a fullback in the backfield, back away. We know this is a heavy counter team. I don't know in the red zone, guys, if I love this alignment by my D end. I would probably prefer him to tighten up because this is a heavy run team. We get our eyes down the line, but we're not splattering this guy vertical enough. I know we are spilling guys, but I guess you could say I'm contradicting myself. But the guy that asked about the near hip, near shoulder, as long as there's no air inside, it's the same thing I'm teaching. Like there's a bunch of ways to play gap scheme. I think it's just how comfortable you are, and I prefer the splatter instead of the box. But why I really put this on here, I know 93 right here to the left is turning too quick, but he lengthens this edge back for this D end. It makes his job a little easier. It clears it up for our backers. Now, I wish 99 would have melted right here. He's trying to slip this hip, And what I try to teach my guys, a slipping the hip of the center is by our get off. It's not by because they're running counter. You can't slip the hip if it's not at an elite get off. Can't see the backside DN. All right, not a great fit bias right there. So I put this one on here because we box. We shouldn't be boxing. It's terrible eyes, right? He never gets his eyes down the line. You can see this kid's eyes. They're straight at the mesh. They're not reading you, dude. So you know you're getting some type of run back at you. This is what happens when you box. The ball gets downhill, right? We give up a bull crap, right? 10-yard gain for no reason. Nice job by the D tackle trying to widen this gap back out. I don't like the melt to cross face. We only melt. This is why we cross face. We melt. We secured the gap. If 99 would have continued to cross, I'm not saying it's a 2-yard game, but it's not 10, right? It's second and 7, second and 6. So I guess that might answer that guy's question of why I'm not a boxer. All right, zone read. Um, the thing we all of our DNs are taught from day one. We are always what we call the jump cut lane, which is right here to the inside hip tackler of the quarterback. We're always QB players. We work running flat. Like we work this drill a lot for these guys, and it takes a lot of discipline. But once you get guys to get it, it changes how you can play defense. Footwork, 91, same kid. His inside foot, I don't like where it's turning, but look how square he stays. Right, we take the air away. Right, that's soft. I guess they're running split zone, not zone read, guys. But that's soft by that guy. But we're with us staying square and getting our eyes down the line of scrimmage. It allows him technically to play both. In a perfect world, if we are getting split zone, we would treat that as a puller and we would splatter that guy, right? And now our safety or backer, depending on coverage or front, would be fitting there. We will not box split zone. Let's watch the D tackle. See how we are. 96 right side D tackle. This is a great job of playing the double team on inside run. His hips stay down is why he wins. The footwork's not great, right? Probably a little too wide of a base, probably too heavy on our toes, but he wins because of pad level and the hips are not overextended. And he's trying to lock the arms out. Great job by him. I don't like the left side D tackle, right? We're trying to finesse this a little too much. If he would have just got knocked back, right, you can see left elbow bent. He tried to knock hands down right away. If he would have went knock back 1, 2, 3, he would snatch across right here and make this TFL. All right, so we're getting zone read. I think it's not the third. So it's kind of a misdirection. We call this like bash, which is a zone read. Like, but watch 39. This kid's a little more athletic. He can be a little worse with his footwork, but shoulders stay decently square. He's under control. It allows him to stick his foot in the ground and run flat. You see a lot of guys at this point right here are going to try to take this angle right here, miss tackle. We work so hard in practice of retracing and flat for option, for screens, any of that. And I know he misses the tackle, but he doesn't allow this running back to cut it up. That's a really nice rep by him. Really, by 51 right here, the left side D tackle, man, that is great extension. I don't like that we're getting covered up by the guard, but I would say he's now made our Mike's job easy if they want to press this ball downhill because we got knockback. We're winning the line of scrimmage all across the board with those three on the right. I think our feet aren't great. It looks like we're about 4 plays in a drive and they're tired. All right, so zone read. I don't love the alignment by 90. That's why I put it on here. I think we're a little, it's 4th and 7. That's why. Okay, I'm not mad at him. So 4th and 7, we don't think it's going to be zone read, but he does a great job shuffling back down. Why I really put this on here, you can watch this D tackle on the right as we look at it. We're attacking the wrong guy, but we're getting knocked back. We're splitting the gap. The hips stay down. We're decent extension, which allows us to get off any block. If you can get extension at any point on any O lineman, it will allow you to get off the blocks. And I think once guys really understand playing long, a lot like guys teach offensive tackles, you get those guys to play long, right? They can get off blocks. This is a phenomenal squeeze by 94. Make the tackle, dude. Great, great squareness. We take the air out of the jump cut lane, dude. Go make the tackle. Now, the part of the problem is 51 is making this guy's job hard. A lot of times, as coaches, we want to rip the DNs right when they're hitting this ball in the jump cut lane. But at the end of the day, it starts with that D tackle. You cannot make my B gap wider than it has to be, and he does. He's running flat. We're too tight as a 2-eye, right? We should be wider attacking, link, widen this B gap for him, and I mean, widen the guard and closing this B gap. We got to be better for the DN because the DN really wasn't that bad. Another zone read right here to 91. I like him here. He's a little more aggressive. I would like him to be maybe a half a yard flatter. And he misses the tackle, right? We're a little too high and we're tackling up on the shoulders of the running back instead of running through his face. But that's why I put this on here because I think, guys, you can teach these guys to squeeze more aggressive under control with their feet. I know that's saying two different things, but when you get them to understand that, you can be successful. Let me see. I don't know why I put that clip on there, guys. That's terrible. I know I went kind of fast. I guess, does anyone have questions? I'll go back to this kind of how I talking about how you're going to play the pullers. I think it really starts right there of what kind of identity do you want to be. The DC, myself, our head coach, we've always wanted to be a big time squeeze and splatter team and really force you. If you're going to beat us, you're going to have to get that ball in the perimeter in the run game. And it's made us successful. We're pretty successful stopping the run. And I think it starts with how we squeeze, how we play those pullers. There's a lot of different ways to do it. I'm not saying our way is right. It's been successful for us, and our guys have been able to adopt that mindset and try to be that hammer, and not the nail.
I respect
Coach,
that,
you have
coach.
any questions?
I thought it was awesome to hear you talk about like the D tackles always recognizing, hey, back to me, back away. Let me ask this, like, what do you guys say when it's kind of like split? You know what I mean? Like back behind
Oh, you're
the,
getting a two back set.
yeah, let's say like that. How is that going to go for you guys? Obviously, I don't want you to give away your scheme and stuff like that. But however you feel comfortable answering that one.
So in our league, the teams that have done it, they usually have a primary back, right?
Mhm.
So we're going to cheat the gap to where we think that primary back's going to do it. We play a lot of twos as well in our fronts. So if we're not playing a one gap front, that probably playing that two makes it a little easier on us to attacking those guards. But I would say whoever that best ball carrier is, and one's always going to be better than the other. I would always cheat my guys, not cheat them, but like, hey, like my hot
Just where
gap
the
is my
tendency
B
is.
gap right here, and we would live with us being wrong at times because we don't get enough of the true like two back set like that to really put us in that situation.
No, I respect that. I get that.
What
Um,
about
no, I mean it was awesome to hear you present and something like at some schools I've been at, we talked about like double striking. Like you're trying, why are you trying to attack two guys? Like, you know what I mean? That's something we would tell guys like, why are you double striking? Like you have both hands extended out, like that's not going to do you any good.
We have a padded O-line D-line camp in the summer, and I'll be talking to those guys out there and they think I'm speaking Chinese. I'm like, we got to win our battle in front of us. I mean, we bench we bench press 250. We're going
Yeah.
against two guys and we're going to punch two guys. Like I'm splitting myself in half. We can't do that. Can't do that.
I think that happens a lot with like the younger guys, is what I've seen in my career.
It does, and you know, it's fast forward for them out there. It's hard for them to slow it down, and I think once they can feel it, as I've got older and learned, like it's not as much about what I know and what I can teach them. It's like it's about the mistakes that he can make and
Mhm.
them feeling it in endo, because that's kind of why I break endo down the way I do, right? It starts with 6 point explosion, then it goes to a sled drive, then it goes to my half line, which isn't really hard contact, and then we're pods, inside run, and team. And I think once you get that plan established and can get them as many reps as they can in a I'm going to say non-competitive environment, they're more comfortable once you get to the situation.
Anybody else got some questions for coach?
You were saying that your D tackles do back two, back away, and coach was talking about split back. What about pistol?
That's a great question. I think when you're getting the pistol, I don't think the back two, back away, you can cheat that anymore.
Okay,
I think teams have tendencies when they're in the pistol, they may want to run to the fullback, but
right,
if they don't have those tendencies now I can't really cheat, because kind of what I tell those D tackles, I said, guys, we're just trying to have a really good study guide, and sometimes we're going to be wrong on that study guide.
right. I got you. Okay.
Got
So
some questions? No,
sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was just asking if anybody else had questions. You're good. That's well.
Um, your D tackles when they're playing that two eye. So in our defense, we have both of our D tackles play a two eye, but when I first got here, I've only been here like a year. So when I first got here, my DC said for both the D tackles to attack the center. But I was watching your guys; they're attacking the guard, and I feel like that's a little bit easier than attacking the center.
Correct. So that's the perfect example where the back two, back away comes from. So
Uh-huh.
when we play two eyes a ton, so when that back is away from me, I'm heavied up on that guard. I'm not a two, but I'm a really heavy two eye.
Right,
I'm attacking that guard. Now, if the back is to my side, I can play with my alignment in the gap, but I would still not attack the center. I would still try to attack that guard. just I've helped myself not get reached. I'm a little
right,
more in the gap. I guess I've never loved just attacking the center, because I would much rather my center have to work up to that mic, because most of the time it's probably a zeroed up mic when you're playing two eyes.
right,
When you let that guard free release up to your mic, he already has an angle, right, and can really either run him out or seal him inside. And now you're asking your DN to be a great butt whipper or a safety.
right. I got you.
But I love playing two eyes. It is the best zone killer out there. Like I'm telling, if you got two D tackles that can do it, you're gonna get after some people.
Coach, I'm a junior college coach at Trinity Valley. I coach the D line here, so
Yeah,
we can connect, and I have some guys for you in December for sure.
awesome. I'm always about signing some guys, man.
Yes, sir.
Think anybody else got some questions for coach? Well, hey coach, I appreciate you coming on, and like we talked about earlier, like just trying to build this, and it's awesome to have you be one of the first presenters for this, and love to see how far we can take kind of doing like the clinics and stuff like that, and giving back to the game. That's like the whole reason why I started this a year ago was I mainly have experience with like linebackers and all over the place, and not much experience with D line. Went through probably my third year with the D line when I was at Drake, and I just want to give back, and it's awesome to have different presenters that want to give back to the community and help guys learn and grow, and pay it forward. And that's the what I thought you did a great job presenting, and it was good to see um, the guys being violent. That's one thing I loved what you were talking about, just fucking guys being violent at D line. Like that's the mindset you have to have. If you're not, um, if you're timid, you're gonna get driven back and you're gonna screw up and you're gonna be. I was at one school where I was coaching linebackers. Our D linemen were getting pushed back 5 yards. I can't really. Hey, you got to adjust off the D lineman. So that's something to learn, and it was good to hear you talk about that. Like you can't be soft. Like
Yeah.
when you got the guys that, hey, you're getting a down block, and then you got somebody swiping across. Like, hey, we got to splatter that shit and be fucking violent to take two guys out, and then throw off force the run back, go east and west, not north and south. So that was good to hear that.
No, like so I'm seem pretty laid back right here. I'm a psycho on the field. Like I'm if you so I know I'm talking too much, but we talk about three things that are controllable in the D line room, right? How we communicate, right? Our intent of doing things and the violence and the motor that we play with. If you do not play with those things, you will get cut from here. Right, like we have a thing that we call 959. It's about running to the football. We grade it. I will. We had this young cat. He didn't understand. I chased his butt like I'm a freaking pit bull off the field. I fell down. I popped up. I'm in his face. Like, um, we're not bigger and faster and stronger than anyone. But what we do well is we don't beat ourselves and we play with great effort. And that starts with our head coach. But it's always been ingrained in my mind. Work ethic, effort. Like, it takes zero talent. And I tell recruits that all the time. Like, if you can give me great effort, man, and you can be a great communicator, man, we can get along. You're gonna be able to play.
That's awesome. Well, hey, coach, I appreciate your time, and
Yes,
I
sir.
recorded it, and I'll definitely send it to you once everything's done. Somebody says,
Okay. Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate it, guys, and I'm on Twitter. If anyone needs anything, it's at Coach Bryen, Bryen. If y'all want to come up here ever and meet, share ideas, or I don't have a lot of knowledge. I can give you as much knowledge as I have. I can give you some effort. I'll give you some effort. I can promise you that.
that's awesome. Hey, if you want, coach, you could probably do you want to throw your like Twitter in the message, and then that way, or like an email if you want, and I'll let it
Yeah.
stay up there for like a minute or two, and those guys can write it down.
Let me see. There we go.
You guys, are you done with road recruiting, or you got somewhere you got to be next week?
No, we're done on the road. We've been we're kind of different how we recruit. We watch a ton of game film. We're not a we offer a few guys, but we won't offer without transcript, doing some homework and watching game film. And I don't always like it that way, but I'll tell you what it does do. We don't miss as much.
Respect
Because
that.
that's what, I don't know who's on here. They can hear what I have to say. I'm not hiding nothing. Our school's expensive. It's private. It costs like 46,000 a year. So when we're investing in these guys, we can't miss.
Respect that. Let me ask this question for like when you're watching game film for like DNs and stuff like that, and D tackles. Like, do you make like have them send you like a third down cut up of that, and when you're watching game film, or like sort it out? I wasn't sure if you guys have use like Huddle or what you use to
So
watch.
we have Huddle Recruit
Mhm.
to watch those games, but I just watch the game. Like I start play one and go. Well, because obviously I'm going to tell by his highlight if he's athletic and can run. When I turn on the game film, what I'm looking for is what kind of tackler are we? What kind of player are we when balls away? And then are you running to the football? That for those DNs, that's really what I'm looking for because I'm not going to beg you to play with effort. You don't have to play here. Same thing with D tackles, but D tackles for me more, I want to see him punch right on game film because you get a lot of those guys highlights and all they're doing is pass rush. I'm like, dude, You weigh 315. You haven't played one double team in this highlight.
Respect that. Well, hey, Coach, I appreciate your time. I hope you have a great night, and we'll definitely be in touch soon. All right, boss?
Yes, sir. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, no problem, Coach. Well, have a good night.
All right. Thank you.